good, man. Awesome.
How was your day? Good time?
Interesting.
So, I want to introduce people to you. Give us a short bio, will you?
Short bio of me. I'm a dedicated biomech tattoo artist from Germany. I've been doing this very specific thing for 15 years now. About a little bit more. I've been doing biomech exclusively for the last, well, at least 12 years, I would say. Um, Still like it. Still like doing it. I do teach if I get a chance. I have a couple of seminars that I can teach. I'm notoriously bad at bios of myself, even though I'm a bio artist. Yeah, weird.
How long ago did we decide that I probably made contact? Because I've been a fan for a long time. So this probably
Okay.
been was ongoing for
When were you out here? How long is that ago?
February, so not that long ago, almost a year.
Yeah.
Is that that your arm thing? Right. February. So that's about a year. And I think we've been talking for about a year, and then we've been like when you were out
I
here,
did
we were
see that.
talking
I've been
about
using it. Definitely.
getting me out there at some
Right.
point.
That's definitely the plan. That's what I
You
wanted
know.
to kind of do this about and introduce people to you and give people something so that when I send out some invites, they can see what we're talking about and see what we're going to do out
Right.
here. So, what are you going to do? Do you want to do one of your current seminars? What are you thinking about doing?
Well, at the moment, that's what I have. I was thinking we can do all kinds of stuff. You have a really nice big space. You have all that beautiful nature around, depending on what time of year I come out. We can do all kinds of things. Just lately I've started to co-host the Biomag reference page on Instagram. Do you see that? So because this is a good friend of and client of mine, Ollie, from also from Germany. He started that account, and he's got this really nice Leica camera, and he goes out into the forest all the time to take photos of reference material. And I have been doing that for a very long time too. And that's one of my main teaching points actually is to well, I think okay, let's go about it this way. What I mainly like to teach is not really tattooing, right? So what I mainly like to teach about, or who I mostly like to teach to, is people who feel stuck. And it doesn't really matter what subject matter they tattoo. It doesn't really matter what kind of stuff that you like. But if you're stuck, or if you're plateaued out, or if you kind of like looking for your own style, or struggling with originality or something like that, then those are the kind of people that I always like to talk to, because I feel like that is something that I have a pretty neat recipe for. And one of the things that I like to do is to leave my comfort zone as much as I can and go out and go on little journeys and take my own reference material, like take my own reference photography. And that can be absolutely anything. But I think that what I like to do is to try and inspire people to have a good reason to go out and explore, take your own reference photography, or even if you're not doing that, to just be out and actually use more senses than just your eyes to get inspired by something, because scrolling through a feed is a pretty dull. Yeah, and it makes you fucking sad. And I think getting inspired should feel like the opposite of getting sad. Getting inspired by something should feel invigorating. And I think for that you need to tickle more than one senses. I think there's something about how we human monkeys are put together. That means that if you're really looking for an experience, you need to combine at least 2 or 3 senses. So you need to hear something, you need to smell something, you need to see something, you need to feel something, you know, taste something even, if you want to go full MacGyver on the thing, you know. But yeah, I like to pick things up. I like to just go around, like especially the forest. For me, that's my favorite subject matter, right? My favorite subject matter is to go out into the forest, photograph anything that I like looking at, touch it, smell it, hold it up to the light, manipulate it, see if I can break it, maybe see what's inside, whatever it is. If it doesn't scream, I'll probably break it.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've definitely.
So that's the kind of thing that I would like to convey in any kind of seminar.
It's definitely been very inspiring to talk to you and work with you and see the process. I, got into a very small bubble of I need to take this thing and I need to make it what it looks like. I would like to make things, or I previously have liked to make things what they look like, which was fun. I feel like I can render it if I can see it. However, it's also, not the most creative thing I could do, and that's definitely where the big the draw for me is that it's a lot more creative to make the world your bubble and go outside and then convey that energy in your work, and it's definitely something that I work towards and hope to progress in, and would love to share my space with anybody else that wants to learn about that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
that's why I think it's going to be we're going to have a great time.
And not having been out there yet, but supposedly you have that beautiful backdrop too.
We have a beautiful backdrop, and then within a couple of hours in any direction, there's all sorts of stuff. I think that as we kind of get people signed up, hopefully I'll see what everybody's available for and what they want to do. If we can make it like do a day trip one day and then do a seminar the next or whatever, that would be.
Ideally, like in a perfect storm, what I would love to do is, I will probably have to do a rework of the priority seminar, because I've been riffing off of that for a while. But I think I've in the last 2 years, I've certainly learned a lot of new stuff. It's been like a lot of personal challenges and all kinds of stuff. And I think I want to review the priority seminar especially. And in the perfect storm, I would do that seminar, which is about 2.5, 3 hours of a seminar, and we take a nice longish break. Everybody can kind of settle down and maybe do a Q&A, maybe do a critique session or whatever. And then we can do a dinner together, or we can just hang out. And then the next day, we can all convene for a nature walk. And then we can actually go out and, go and find a trail somewhere where we can walk. And it doesn't really matter, because I'll always find something that I can talk about, because I apparently love to hear myself speak. Oh no! Yeah, that's right. We had this thing with Gaida, reinventing life, and I was quoted saying, "I like it when I talk," and that was the running gag there. And yeah, they're not wrong.
The one thing I don't know how to go back to it now, but when I was out there, we had a long conversation about frequency, and then that entire series of videos got corrupted, and I haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, holy shit! You mean frequencies? Okay, I'm just gonna say a couple of words to. Okay, frequencies likening playing a guitar to tattooing.
We were talking, we were talking just about
Wavelength.
In all things. We were talking about tattooing, in particular the speed of the machine and how the ink runs and how just getting everything moving in the right direction.
I know, man, but that is just such a
I think it has more implications in terms of
Uh-huh.
life, in terms of tuning your life to run right so that you can perform the best, so that you feel accomplished in your work, and
Sure.
everything else. Just the way everything comes together.
I love that one too. And I've always held on to that and only given it out in person because I always feel like, especially that metaphor of the guitar string thingy. I'm gonna keep it really cryptic right now because that's kind of the point.
That's cool.
Is it's such it's a really good metaphor. I'm really proud of it, and I always feel like if that leaks out into a video, it just because it's such a magic fucking bullet. To learning to how to tattoo, to how to treat skin with respect, to how to find the perfect tune to make the ink go in and all that kind of shit. It's such a it's such a magic bullet for that I would never put that on anything that is easily pirated.
Well,
And
it definitely gave me. It brought a lot of things together for me that I previously kind of thought about, and kind of like, I know that there's something missing, and when you explained it, it was just crystal crystal clear.
that is super cool. I love to. I love hearing that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've had like that, and that is such a. But it's also such a neat little story that it's easily missed if I put that in a video or something. I think that is really something that I probably should make a presentation about and pack that as a bonus at the end of a seminar because I think it's a good rethinker. It's like to rethink. It's like that whole Lux Altera concept to show something in a different light. It's a good metaphor that helps people to rethink what they've been doing for some of them for 20 25 years. I've had this the conversation with Guy too, and I got a couple of out of him. So that's always a good indicator for me where it's like, shit, I got something.
And now, when people come to your seminars, do you get mostly? I would assume you get mostly experienced people. I think bio is kind of like an acquired. You have to get. You have to have some experience and kind of like brush some other things away before you.
Sure.
I don't know anybody personally that's really heavily in.
Oh my god, bio is but bio, you know what? Bio is also so fucking weird. And the best feedback that I'm getting for my seminars and for the stuff that I'm doing in those seminars and the way that I get the information across is actually from people who don't do biomech at all. Because those are the people that actually you get to think outside the box. The people who are doing bio and that do speak the same language that I speak, kind of, some kind of dialect of it, they're all in the same box with me. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of good feedback there, and I don't want to diminish all of that. And those people obviously are super welcome. I love my community of biomech people. That's the best community out there, I think. But the people who really get something out of this kind of seminar are people who are in it to have their mind opened or go in it with an open mind, rather, and start thinking outside of the box. That's because I'm not really teaching biomech. I have a whole another seminar that I wrote back in the day with Adrian Dominic together called "What Is It?" and that is all about biomech, and I can do that one too.
That's a good. I like that one. I mean, you could do whatever you want, but I've seen that one. That was.
I mean, I love that one, and obviously they connect really well. I think the priority seminar and the biomech seminar they connect really well. They do inform each other, so I do like doing that. But I also don't want to bore people who are not into biomech, and I also don't want to make this exclusively about biomech. Not only because the community is kind of small, but like I said, I like getting strong reactions out of people. That's kind of what I'm in it for, you know. And those very very strong reactions mostly come from people who don't do bio at all. and especially people who don't like bio. That's always like, that's my favorite. Those are my favorite peers because they're so fucking hard to impress, right? And that's where I get most of my inspiration. That's like the best inspiration you can get is like when you eat something you really don't like until you fucking like it. Right? That's how you learn something new. That sucks. Learning new things sucks.
And it's taken me forever to like reach, try to start. I've liked your stuff forever. It's just I'm so literal with everything, and I had so much control over my original tattoos and everything that after I lasered everything off, I was just like, I want to be able to just be part of somebody else's show. Just make it look good, make the whole, make it all look like it all goes together and it all looks good. Yeah. And to me personally, even though it's not really what I've done to get this far, I've always seen bio as kind of one of the, I don't want to say truer forms of tattooing because I'll get in trouble, but one of the...
Let's get in trouble.
It's one of the few that actually considers the body, right? It's one of the few where being on the body is where it's supposed to be and looking good.
Yeah, one of the big three.
So yeah. It's definitely always been on my list. I've finally been able to like start playing and feel good about that after some stuff this year. And yeah, it feels great, man. I'm like super excited about it.
The hard thing about Biomech has always been to get other people excited. It's like the people who are doing it, they're all super excited because we have an insight into something that makes no sense at all to other people. It's like the progressive super mathematic metal of the tattoo scene or something, or like the classical music. And for everybody, it's like, I don't know what I'm looking at and I don't know if I like it or not. Ideally, if you do biomech, you don't know what you're looking at, but you like it. So that's kind of the idea, right?
It's not large in my area, but that's the only reaction I've ever gotten from anybody, which is not my previous experience. And then whenever if I go to a show or anything, anybody that pulls me over and stops me doesn't even really talk to me. They just they lead with, "Oh, that's Marcus. Did Marcus do that?"
Stop it.
And I'm like, on the other side of the planet. So that's what I'm interested in, is developing myself to a point where that you just know that you have your own thing, you're speaking with your own voice. It's been very easy to do portraits because for people especially that don't tattoo, that's the, oh my gosh, that's that's the reaction, right? Is there like,
sure, yeah. I mean, which is why it's so popular, right? Like everybody knows what a face looks like, most people.
And then that's what really drove me into trying to get into stretching faces and moving things and kind of like how much can I mess with this and still make it my own and still make it a likeness of the person. And then now that's kind of how I feel about bio, is we can take Mother Nature and try to compete, try to make something a little bit cooler, find something that you find out there that looks cool to you and inspires you, and make it into something that looks cool for everybody else. And that's super interesting to me.
We'll talk about it more. I mean, we're talking about it all the time, obviously, about all these complexities. I think that Biomech seminar that I'm doing is structured in a way. Well, Adrian and I, we got really high, and we started writing that seminar together in my garden. I don't know how many years ago. It must have been like 5 or 6 years ago. 5 years ago, maybe? No, not that long. Whatever. And one idea that really clicked with us is to make it like language, to give it a grammar, to give it a structure, like a sentence, grammar, vocabulary, and then you can start writing stories, basically. And then you still have to learn how to write a good story, but at least you have a language that you can develop, right? So that's how we approach it in the What Is It seminar. We approach it like a language, and that, it makes more sense. And once you're able to see it, once you're able to notice that, holy shit, that is actually a language that I can read now. There's a whole world around you that all of a sudden will change, because you start to realize, oh crap, like everything is written in this language. At least everything out in nature is written in this language. You know.
Definitely, when I look at, as now I'm looking closer, obviously for a long time I've been, you know, concerned or interested in how things grow, especially flowers, things like that. But the more you get into sludge and oil on water and tree bark and the way things kind of converge and grow, the more it just all makes sense that
you can drift off into very, very floaty territory really quickly with that kind of stuff if you keep going. Of course, you can go really trippy, you can go super new agey with that shit. It's like, yeah man, everything is super connected, man. Everything is floating along the same vibrational patterns, and and it is, I suppose, I don't know, but sure, if you look at an oil slick, and if you look at a galaxy, and if you look at weather patterns, and it doesn't matter how big those things are, they all kind of look the same. There seems to be something like an absolute universal truth, and there's something that is really comforting about that. And then when you start to put two and two together more and more often, and you can encapsulate that in a neat little design that respects all of the laws of physics. Let me just drift off into this crazy territory for a second, right? But if you do that, if you get really adept in writing physics visually, without all the formula and without all the math, yeah, that's really comforting for somebody who is, especially for somebody who's overthinking a lot of things, for somebody maybe who has a tendency to be a little nihilistic, for somebody who, all the atheists out there, who don't really believe in anything, that's a comforting place to have, for sure, yeah. And that seems to be a pretty decent common denominator amongst the biomech artists.
it's definitely something that I mean I could easily say that I'm just scared of it, that I'm scared of taking the step from something that when I first started drawing, I had read a book and they had said, hey man, anything that you need to render, any skills that you need to render anything, you can find between the ears, right? So from here to here, you'll find the, for making things hard, to making things dark, to making things exact, to how you're dealing with highlights. So I've always just done that, and it was immediate, confidence boost, and I always kind of stuck with that, and I use that as my, I guess, I don't know, flags along the way to know.
Yeah, hey, your milestones.
Yeah, my milestones. If I can do it in this different medium, then I'm good with that medium and I can move on. And it's always been trying to build the skills to be able to speak with my own voice artistically, which I think like if you're going to be an artist or an illustrator or whatever, it's kind of important to do that. You should be able to do what people want, and you should also be able to convey your own ideas, emotions, whatever you're doing, and that's definitely where I, where the benefit for me is trying to step into that, and hopefully we can share that with some other people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can get pretty deep, and I'm very passionate about it.
I appreciate that, and I know a lot of other people, I'm sure, do too.
Yeah, and I just love talking about it. I definitely want to revisit my presentations that I've got so far before we have an event like that. And I don't think we have a date set for it yet. We were looking at spring, summer or something, right? Or autumn.
We talked about spring. I'm into whatever. I would like to come out there by next fall again.
Okay.
And I've been kind of looking at April because I don't have very
Hmm.
much going on in April, especially towards the end. It's springtime out here.
Yeah.
And I was thinking potentially maybe we could take a similar trip to what you want to present, and I can have either take photos or we can have a photographer kind of give us a
Yeah.
little bit of reference that we could use or that you could use in a presentation, and then
Yeah.
take everybody out. I don't know how viable it is to take, however many people out for
Maybe not everybody wants to come either, you know. Um, and I don't want to feel like I have a flock that I'm taking into the forest. That seems kind of weird. We can do whatever, man. I would like to do a little walk with a couple of people. Um, if it's a lot of people, you know, everybody entertains themselves. You know, I won't be talking the whole time. It's mostly just, you know, walking out in the open, picking things up, going, oh, that's neat, and then putting it back down. You know, and I might talk a little bit about photography and how to frame something nicely, and I might, you know, speak about what that does for your art, you know, and that kind of stuff, you know, make it important, that kind of thing. But it's mostly just actually having the experience of being outside and smelling the air and, you know, and seeing the things. And
it would be definitely good to do before fire season. We
Yeah.
get the fires pretty good
Or
up here in the summer.
that's the summer or after, maybe in autumn. I mean, autumn is always nice because we get mushrooms. Like everything is a little. I don't know how it is out there, but
It's the autumn is nice, but we're mostly pine trees, so we don't have the type of like change in the autumn that you probably have.
yeah.
well, mushrooms are in the autumn, also in pine forest. So
Who you talk to?
sure, I see. Yes, yes. Uh, we'll find a good spot, and you know we'll put it together. I'm really excited about it. We'll just need to find a good spot for it because my planning is getting tighter around April already. So like my books are kind of like focusing in around April at the moment. Um, so that's if you want to come out in April, we should definitely look at that. And yeah,
I want to come for
Pro-
Oktoberfest.
Fuck.
So I never done that. So that was my plan. My plan was to try to get you here and then do some work and do this thing and then
Uh-huh.
get out there and wrap things up. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, let me know, dude. I mean, I'll take your first available by April. I should be. I mean, we don't have anything planned. So
well, we can talk about that kind of stuff off the air. Um, Anything else? I don't know.
30 minutes is a pretty good intro, and
Right.
I can give you a call in a couple days, and we'll continue on, man.
Perfect. I'll get everything to you that I got on my end, and we just keep this conversation going.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for making the time, and we're all really excited out here.
Awesome. Thank you. Talk to you soon.